Alan, thank you very much for the talk, which was incredibly interesting. I think what we'd like to get from you is just a sense of what you thought the main themes of your talk were.
Well, I suppose that the main idea is to try to uncover whether conservatism has a formal basis in political philosophy which one could explain and understand to people who aren't themselves conservatives. So that, if you like, we're trying to provide an understanding of conservatism which isn't purely emotive, isn't particularly associated with particular policies or particular political positions, but is theoretically grounded in some way, and trying to get an understanding of how that might be within the landscape of political philosophy.
And in the main part of the talk, what you did is you looked very closely at Gerry Cohen's work on this, which was about trying to establish a kind of substantive argument for conservatism. And I'd be interested in why you think that was a kind of problematic argument, because that's what you presented to us.
Well, Gerry Cohen has set out in a couple of papers an idea of a particular type of substantive conservatism which invests value in things that actually exist simply because they exist. And we tried to uncover, if you like, a variety of problems with this relating to how that value might come about, what sort of value it is, how we might determine which objects have that value and which don't, and how that value might be traded off against other values that exist in the world. And we use those arguments to try to, if you like, critique Cohen's position, but also more generally to try and understand what might be possible for a conservative to believe in that sort of range of country.
Okay, and I think that you convinced most of the people in the room that there were substantial problems with that argument. So if you are taking your broader project on board, where's next in terms of actually thinking about how a kind of approach to conservatism can actually be established on slightly firmer ground?
Well, I think we're trying to identify 3 or 4 different approaches which conservatism might take to providing itself with foundations. The one that we've been talking about today is just one of those approaches, and as you say, we're reasonably sceptical that that actually works. But I think there are 1 or 2 other approaches, particularly approaches which depend upon an analysis of uncertainty in societal affairs, which do have more foundational appeal, and which can justify a form of conservatism. But the conservatism that's defended on those grounds is rather different from the conservatism that you often see in the literature, and therefore there's a sort of important distinction to be made, in our view, between defensible conservatism and, if you like, gut conservatism, as it might appeal in various more public arenas.
Okay, well, thank you very much again for the talk, Alan, and look forward to your future work.
My pleasure.